When a company dominates the world, it feels invincible. Employees flood the hallways, shareholders celebrate record profits, and the world knows the name everywhere. But empires built on shaky foundations can crumble faster than anyone imagined. The stories of corporations that ruled their industries only to disappear entirely reveal a troubling truth about success. Sometimes the greatest companies become the greatest casualties, not because of bad luck, but because of decisions that altered the course of history forever. The rise to dominance, consider Blockbuster, once the unquestioned king of home entertainment. At its peak around 2004, this video rental giant employed over 80,000 people across more than 9,000 stores worldwide. Walking into a Blockbuster on Friday nights was part of the American experience. Families debated choices, friends made memories, and the company printed money. Yet this empire stood on the edge of a cliff, and nobody saw it coming. The man steering this massive ship was overconfident, dismissive of threats, and fundamentally blind to the future. When a struggling startup called Netflix approached Blockbuster's leadership with an unusual proposal, the response was swift and crushing. Netflix offered to sell itself to Blockbuster for just $50 million. The CEO rejected it outright, calling Netflix a niche business with no real future. He was catastrophically wrong. Instead of embracing this lifeline, Blockbuster doubled down on physical stores and late fees. The company believed its brick-and-mortar dominance was permanent. Management failed to understand what was happening on the horizon, and by the time they realized the disaster, it was too late. Blockbuster filed bankruptcy in 2010, and within a year, nearly all stores had closed. Meanwhile, the company they rejected was worth billions similarly. Toys R Us had owned childhood for generations. The company operated over 1,000 stores across America and was the undisputed leader in toy retail. Children begged their parents to drive to Toys R Us. The brand was synonymous with playtime itself. This was a company that seemed impossible to disrupt. Yet in 2017, after mounting debt and the rise of online shopping, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy. By 2018, every single American store had closed. Thousands of employees lost their jobs, and an entire institution vanished. The issue wasn't one mistake, but years of not adapting fast enough. The company had failed to build a competitive online presence while rivals like Amazon exploded. Management delayed crucial decisions until it was far too late. Competitors were hungrier, faster, and more innovative. The architecture of collapse. These collapses follow patterns that repeat throughout history. First, there is denial. Leaders convince themselves that their current dominance guarantees future success. They believe their customers are too loyal to leave. They assume competitors lack the resources to challenge them. This arrogance becomes poison. Blockbuster leadership truly believed Netflix would fail. Toys R Us executives thought their toy expertise gave them eternal protection. They were wrong. Second, there is resistance to change. When new technologies emerge, established giants often resist instead of adapting. They have profits to protect, legacy systems to maintain, and shareholders demanding quarterly returns. This makes rapid transformation dangerous to their current operations. Rather than cannibalizing their own profits by embracing change, they cling to what works. By the time they finally move, competitors have already captured the future. Third comes excessive debt. Many of these companies borrowed heavily during good times. Toys R Us faced billions in debt from a leveraged buyout that made the company vulnerable. When revenue slowed, debt became a strangling noose. The company couldn't invest in innovation, couldn't weather downturns, and couldn't catch up to nimbler competitors. Debt transforms a temporary problem into an existential crisis. Finally, there is management failure. Many doomed companies saw constant CEO changes, shifting strategies, and inconsistent visions. Employees became confused. Investors lost confidence. Radio Shack suffered through 6 different CEOs between 2006 and 2016. Each leader brought different ideas, different slogans, and different directions. The company lost its identity. Circuit City made a shocking decision to fire its highest-paid, most experienced employees to cut costs. The company replaced experienced salespeople with cheaper, younger workers. Customer service collapsed. Customers noticed. They went elsewhere. The lessons written in failure. The story of these corporate collapses teaches us something essential about success. Dominance today provides no guarantee for tomorrow. The factors that created success can become the very obstacles preventing adaptation. Blockbuster's strength was its physical presence. That same strength became its fatal weakness as consumer behavior shifted online. Toys R Us's reputation for selection became less valuable when Amazon offered infinite choice. Nokia once controlled the mobile phone market, but refused to believe touchscreen phones would dominate. BlackBerry convinced itself that physical keyboards were essential when the market moved to all-glass screens. Each company's greatest asset became its greatest liability. They believed their industry would evolve slowly. They were wrong. Change accelerated past them. The successful companies of tomorrow are those that recognize this danger. Netflix understood it could cannibalize its own rental business to survive. Apple constantly disrupted its own products. Amazon relentlessly innovated even when it hurt short-term profits. These leaders understood that complacency is the enemy of longevity. They stayed hungry, they moved fast, they weren't afraid to abandon what used to work. The companies that collapsed were run by people who believed yesterday's success guaranteed tomorrow's victory. They protected their current business rather than building their next one. They believed their customers had nowhere else to go. They were proven catastrophically wrong. The ruins of these empires still teach lessons. Lehman Brothers, once the fourth largest investment bank in America, collapsed during the 2008 financial crisis and triggered a global economic meltdown. Enron, hailed as innovative, was revealed to be running an accounting fraud that wiped out billions in shareholder value and ended thousands of careers. General Motors, once the world's largest automaker, declared bankruptcy in 2009. These weren't small setbacks, they were total annihilations. Today, business leaders are watching these cautionary tales play out once more. Every empire looks invincible until the moment it doesn't. Every company believes its dominance is permanent until reality proves otherwise. The question isn't whether change is coming. It's whether leaders have the courage and vision to embrace it. The companies that survive and thrive understand something crucial. Success is not a destination, it's a process of constant reinvention, relentless innovation, and the humility to admit when old strategies no longer work. The biggest brands built enormous empires, but they collapsed because they forgot this simple truth. Dominance is always temporary. The future belongs to those brave enough to build it.